Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We have to ask, what has Patrick Grady got that so many people are rushing to his defence? They keep backing him. This is a sex pest MP, someone who likes to touch up other people's children. Teenage boys are not safe around him. And yet another SNP politician is saying that he should be welcomed back into the fold. Let's everyone move on and let's welcome Patrick Grady back into the world of politics. This seedy, degenerate little man who looks half like a potato and half like a thumb and who has a propensity for touching teenage boys should not be welcomed back. And yet the SNP really, for some reason, want him. What does he have on them? Has he got pictures? Has he got tapes? He's got to have something. We'll have a look at this, see what's going on, see who now is backing him. Another one. Unbelievable. Here it goes. So another SNP politician jumps to the defence of sex pest MP Patrick Grady as he makes a move on plea. Well, Patrick Grady's made a lot of moves on people, hasn't he? Made a move on that teenager. New SNP Chief Whip Owen Thompson joined Rutherglen and Hamilton Westminster candidate Katie Loudon in backing the shamed Glasgow North MP as he claimed he should be allowed to stay in politics. Why? You don't go around touching teenage boys and expect to stay in politics. Why do the SNP think that sexually abusing young men, teenagers, is acceptable? It seems a very, very weird state of affairs. Now, we know that over the years they've shown exactly what kind of people they are in the SNP. They're very, very much for doing things with children and pushing degenerate sort of agendas onto very young children. Some as young as 5, getting them to fill in forms explaining how these 5-year-olds like to have a good time when they're alone. That form went out when Sturgeon was First Minister. So it's no surprise, really, that they're all a bit of sort of a bunch of degenerate, creeps, really. But to do it so blatantly and in the open is astonishing, isn't it? Anyway, another SNP politician has jumped to the defence of Sexfest MP Patrick Grady as he made move-on plea to critics. The party's new chief whip at Westminster, Owen Thompson, even supported his colleague in resuming a career in politics after his time as Glasgow North MP comes to an end. Yeah, he's not been selected for the next election. He's going to find it hard to go to a new constituency and try and get selected there. Obviously they'll have got their own candidates in place already, but they are absolutely, I think, determined for some reason to keep Grady in politics, and you wonder why. The shamed nationalist has reportedly been blocked from standing again in his own constituency as his name did not appear on the leaked candidates list, although it is not known if he's failed vetting or did not put himself forward. Rumour has it he failed the vetting, which is their way of saying, look, we're embarrassed by his actions, we don't really want him. He drew criticism after reappearing on the campaign trail in Rutherglen and Hamilton West. We've covered that in a previous video. Mr Grady was suspended for the SNP for 6 months last year after being found guilty of sexually harassing a teen staffer at a pub back in 2016. He inappropriately touched the man's head and neck, and with the House of Commons authority ordering a 2-day suspension. And I think that is astonishing in its own right. There's no way it should have been a 2-day suspension. It should have been a lot more serious. They talk a good game about, we don't want this and we don't want that, and then they give someone 2 days for, basically sexually touching a child, effectively. I know the lad was 17, so not exactly a child. But even so, Grady was in a position of authority over this young man. So it shouldn't have been, it shouldn't have been a thing. The party was blasted over its handling of the incident after the then leader, Ian Blackford, cajoled his colleagues to offer their support to him instead of the distraught victim, who was forced to quit his role due to a lack of sympathy from within the nationalist group. The SNP, they always back the perpetrator. They never back the victims. But Mr. Thompson claimed that Mr. Grady should be allowed to move on with his life and suggested he'd done everything asked of him and deserved a second chance. You don't allow sexual predators a second chance. The only people calling for second chances for sexual predators are, in my opinion, other sexual predators. Anyway, speaking for the Scots, to the Scotsman, Mr. Thompson, and there he is there, doesn't he look weird? And what's this thing with the flop down front of the hair? There's a man who knows he's going bald, isn't it? I mean, I am, but I'm 56. But, yeah, he's got a schoolboy haircut. Yeah, he looks like someone who'd... No, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to open myself for prosecution. Let's just say that he looks like someone who... And then you can fill in the blanks. Anyway, Mr. Thompson claimed that the morale was good within the Westminster group, despite the bombshell claims made by Lisa Cameron, as well as Angus MacNeil being axed following a row over independence. The Lisa Cameron, I did the video yesterday, she was the one saying, over the Patrick Grady affair, can we stop and take 2 minutes to think of the victim, rather than keep pushing for the acceptance of the perpetrator? She's doctor. She's a doctor of psychology. So she deals with victims like this all the time, and she knows the effects that the likes of Mr. Potato Head Patrick Grady would have trying to touch up a young lad. I mean, he's a disgusting, horrible-looking thing anyway, isn't he, Grady? Imagine that pouring over a young teen lad. I mean, it's sickens you to the stomach, doesn't it? Asked about Mr. Grady, the Chief Whip defended his presence on the campaign trail. He said, I don't see why he shouldn't be, and I know he's not going to make me popular. But Patrick has at all stages done everything he could possibly do to apologise. Well, apart from the one thing that everyone who's in any way decent wants, and that is for him to fuck off permanently and never be seen again. He said he's never sought to obfuscate or obstruct investigations into him, and at all stages done everything that's been asked to do, apart from, as I say, please go away. He says if we believe in natural justice, he's done everything that's been asked of him and more. Somebody has to be able to move on, and I don't see why that shouldn't be the case just because somebody's a politician. Okay, if it was natural justice, you know, Thumb Boy there would have been beaten to a bloody pulp. And if you want to talk about being able to move on, the young lad in question, the victim, he couldn't move on. He wasn't given counselling. He wasn't given support. He lost his job. So where is the humanity there? You know, you're welcoming him back, the predator, but you're firing the victim. But then the SNP has always been filled with the 3 Ps, isn't it? Pervs, predators and peds. All of them. I mean, it's just a party of absolute filth. He insisted that the MPs were united despite Mr. MacNeil's public bust-up with the former Chief Whip Brendan O'Hara, the brute in a suit. And 8 of the group resigning last year, including Mr. Blackford and the current deputy, Mary Black. And of course you lost Margaret Ferrier. So 10 of them won't be there next year, or at least won't be there as SNP members. Angus maybe if he's fortunate, but you don't really want Angus MacNeil. I mean, apparently he's well liked as an MP for what he does, but as a human being, he is utterly reprehensible. He's a loathsome lizard as a human being. So just the rest of them. So yeah, so there he is. He is backing the Thumb. Now, as I say, I wouldn't trust him. I certainly wouldn't trust him near anyone that I knew. He's got the look, hasn't he? Hasn't he? I'm coming up. So there you are. Even more of these people backing Grady, of all people. The one person you would not want to sort of be seen anywhere near. And so Grady has got to have something. Most people in real life would avoid this man, would distance themselves from a sex pest predatory, oik like that, little obnoxious toad. Why are they saying bring him back, bring him back? What has he got on them? It's astonishing, isn't it? Certainly beyond any understanding I've got. I cannot see why you'd want this man anywhere near you. Why would you associate yourself with someone like this? Makes no sense. Anyway, stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see in here on the channel, Please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and certainly keep your kids away from Owen Thompson. Bye.